Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 215. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host Dane Cody. Dane, Cody, and I get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and whatever the hell we like. Welcome everybody. If you've never been here before, usually we start off the show with our BS section, which you are knee-deep in now. A little bit of house cleaning, which I will get to after I explain the rest of our outline. Then we get into some what you've been playing, news and stuff, public service announcements, and free-for-all section. And this past weekend, I actually went over to the Big Island and hung out with you.
The biggest of islands, one might say.
Yeah, some people call it the mainland.
Yeah.
The continent of North America. Vancouver. Beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. Yeah, I came over to go to LTX.
Yeah.
So my weekend and your weekend were
LTX Expo. Yeah, no, it was the Linus, was it the Linus Tech Tips Expo? LTX.
Is that what it actually stands for?
I believe so. So the Linus Tech Tips guys, they're from Vancouver. Big YouTube channel.
Yeah, they got a couple subscribers.
Yeah, like almost 9 million. They did last year. They started the LTX, which is essentially a giant PC nerd convention, really. And so this year we got an opportunity to go check it out. So provided by them, we did not have to pay to get in, which was kind of rad. And everything else that we did while we were there, obviously that was covered by us, but the entry fee was covered by them. So we went and checked that out. DreamHack was there. They had like a huge pre-built LAN area, so you could go in and play video games if you want, kind of like how they have it set up at PAX. And then they had also a huge bring your own computer area where, you know, you could bring your own computer and play video games for 2 days straight. So that was on the Saturday and the Sunday. So that was pretty rad. They had, oh boy, obviously they had a big main stage where they had like shows kind of ongoing throughout the day. Various talks and YouTube personalities and special guests and things like that all up on the main stage. You could obviously show up and meet Linus and all of the guys from their crew and, do meet and greets and talk to those guys and various things like that, which was all there. They had a bunch of really fun like activities and booths set up. So they were doing like a giant... they had an area corridored off where you could do a case throw, which was pretty rad. So
yeah, case toss.
Whatever. Yeah, it's whoever tossed the case the furthest got a brand new case, which was pretty nice. There's a bunch of giveaways. They had like a little arcade set up, which was pretty rad. We got
vendors were there.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good day. It was a lot of fun. We went on the Saturday. And checked it out. Yeah, what's any real...
A lot of PC building centric, like...
oh yeah, for sure.
Demos and stuff, like really to get you into tinkering and, you know, getting over the fear of building a PC. Like they had a workshop.
Yeah, they had like how to build a PC workshop where they had like all the parts there within an empty case, and they had somebody kind of going through and like, this is kind of how you build a PC, which was pretty cool. They had like a delidding workshop where like, if you're getting super nerdy, you can learn how to delid your processor, which is essentially taking off that first heatsink layer and putting your heatsink, like your cooler, directly on top of the processor die itself, which if you've been building computers for a really long time like I have, you maybe remember back in the AMD Athlon days, that's what you were doing with those. So you would literally put your processor directly on top of the processor die. And it's a way that you can, at least in theory, because you're putting a much larger heatsink directly into contact with that, you can get in theory at least, like a better, like lower temperatures for overclocking and running your computer and things like that. So they had a big thing like that there.
They had like a vintage area, the history of PC gaming, where they had all kinds of PC builds over like the last few years.
That was
like
cool.
What the most common like PC build would have been.
Yeah, all throughout like the last like 10 years or something like that, or maybe a little longer even. Like it
was the last 10 years, so it's like, oh, I remember that. I had that build.
Yeah, totally.
I'm still running essentially that build, slightly modded. And then they had a crazy ass like overkill build.
Oh yeah, the $7,000 overkill build.
Yeah, dual 2080 Ti's.
Yeah, like what is that? Like almost $4,000 in video cards right there.
Yeah.
One of the really cool areas was actually the vintage area where they had a ton of really old stuff.
Like
some of it
Apple
dating
IIs,
back
Commodores,
80s
stuff from the 70s and 80s, like
totally
ancient stuff. Even stuff I hadn't even seen before.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We were like messing around with like a really old like picture phone where you could like send photos of who was at the door and stuff, and like back and forth, and they were all powered up, and you could play Doom on the old like Voodoo 5, and
they had that Bose like Macintosh. Mm-hmm. It was like an audio file, like an audio centric like Macintosh, like stereo speaker system with a Mac built in. It was so weird. I'd never seen that before.
Yeah, with the big like side speakers on it, and like the monitor crazy. Was built in. It's really cool. Really neat.
It was a cool event. It definitely, if I like lived there and could like take my PC down, that would be really fun to just go to the LAN party and just play for like 2 days straight.
I know.
LAN. That would be awesome.
I know. It was definitely, I was thinking, man, if I was younger and not married and stuff, like that would be a pretty rad weekend to just knock
planned
out.
According.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, now I know at least like kind of more of what to what to expect from it next year. Like it seems like they're growing every year. Like it sounds like this year was a little bigger than it was last year. That was pretty cool. But yeah, no, they had like some pretty cool. Obviously, they had booths set up from various like computer manufacturers, as well as like PC parts companies were there. NZXT was there with their cases, and Zalman was there.
Razer was there.
Yeah, Razer had a booth and like stuff like that. Which was cool. It was a little bit PAX-esque, but for PC
centric.
Totally. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it was quite surprising and there was quite an old crowd there, I noticed.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. That's definitely the
bunch of old PC builder guys.
Yeah, you get that
tinkers.
You get that nostalgia too, right? You remember all that stuff, and it was really one of the coolest things that I thought that was really neat was the parents that were there with their younger children that were, like the children couldn't be there on their own, but you could definitely tell that they were there with their guardian and they were actually like enjoying it, and they, you know what I mean? It wasn't just like, oh, I'm stuck here with my dad, but it was actually like, or my mom or whatever, but it was actually like, this is, I wanted to come and my dad wanted to come, and or my mom, and like it was a thing
playing with all the components and checking stuff out.
Yeah, like
the computers.
Totally. It's just like, it's little nerds in the making, right? I love it. It makes me happy. So yeah, that aspect of it I thought was really cool. It's a neat way to get people hands on with things,
especially if if you're a fan of Linus's channel and the stuff they do. Like obviously, something worth checking out. Would I fly across the country for it? Probably not. But if you're fans of those guys, you probably would have even got more value out of it because they were on the main stage pretty much all day.
Oh yeah,
doing
for
talks and playing games and demos and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and just making themselves available too, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, they were like all over the show floor. Like,
yeah,
I saw lots of people talking to them a bunch. So yeah, it was cool. And then we went to the Vancouver Twitch Vancouver meetup, which was just like a typical PAX nerd party.
Totally. The music was a little too loud, and there was a bunch of people kind of giving away some swag, and there was lots of Twitch people with names on, and
a couple booths. No free booze though. Boo.
It is a community event, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know. It was all right.
It was fun. Yeah, it's neat to always like meet people in the Twitch community. I mean, obviously, neither of us are really like big streamers. But it's always cool to, we met up with Mike and Stacy from Wabam. They were down for the weekend, so I mean we bumped into them a few times at LTX, and then again at the Twitch Vancouver friends. Stuff, and some of their entourage and the people that they know.
I met actually my sister introduced me to her, but like met a streamer. I don't know what she goes by online.
Oh, okay.
I lost her. I have her business card here somewhere. Anyway, her name is Ashley. And she animates, she draws online.
Oh, right.
And she actually works on a show called Pete the Cat.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, apparently I think it's on Amazon. I had her card. I must have misplaced it. Anyway, she's an animator and she illustrates on Twitch. That's like her whole thing.
She just like goes on there and kind of works, if you will.
Yeah, just drawings and stuff.
That's cool.
She streams that whole process.
That's cool. Showing people more than just video games and whatnot.
And that was about it. Nothing else special happened that weekend at all.
No.
Nope, nothing at all.
Nothing on Sunday for you?
No, I didn't go to Vancouver for any other particular reason.
No.
Oh, wait, I did. I picked up my Tesla
Model 3.
Yeah. That was like a big part of me going to Vancouver as well. It just kind of worked out. The timing
worked out real well.
Yeah. So
that's fair.
Now I'm a Tesla nerd.
Oh, boy.
Electric car.
Oh, yes.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone buy one. Use my referral code.
Yeah.
Get free supercharger miles. Get a really fast electric car. Save the planet. Waste a lot of money.
I don't know about that part, but
anyway, that thing is so freaking rad. Oh my god, I love it so much. It drives so well. So fast. The tech is so cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. I just want to drive every day now. My wife has it at work. She comes home and I'm like, I just gotta go run an errand.
I gotta go pick up some milk.
I just gotta go
on the other side of Victoria.
We should get dinner out. I'll go pick it up.
We should get ice cream after I brought it home.
That was yesterday. We should just go for a little cruise. Adeline, you want to get some ice cream? Yeah. It's pretty hilarious because it obviously with most electric cars they accelerate quite quickly, so it kind of like pushes you back in your seat.
Yeah.
So I was like showing it off to my wife, and I'm just like, she's like, "Wow!" And everyone pushes back in their seat, and my daughter's like giggling like it's a ride at Disneyland.
She's like, she's like,
again. So like we're going down the highway, like just accelerating and slowing down, accelerating.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, seriously, if you're thinking about getting one, talk to me. I'll give you my referral code.
I'll get right on that.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty happy about that.
Good.
And actually, I wasn't sure if I was going to have power today, but because they've been doing some work at my house. So I was alluding to a couple big things going on recently. One of them was the Tesla, which is now here, and the other is happening right now. I'm getting solar panels installed at the house.
Right. Okay.
Because we're freaking crazy and we're kicking hydro to the curb and kicking the oil industry to the curb. So we're getting solar panels installed right now, and they actually are like in the middle of the install. They had the whole panel ripped apart today. I was like, I might have to call Dane because I don't know if I want to have power tonight. But they should be done in a day or two. So next week's podcast, I'll have a full report on that.
Sweet.
Which is pretty exciting.
Very cool.
Yeah, super duper smart home from the future.
Fair enough.
Getting off the grid.
Hey man, you do you.
Yeah. And that's about it. I guess we can get into. Oh wait, no wait. I forgot house cleaning. Join the Discord server. Old listeners, you already know. New listeners, jump in. Get involved in the conversation on Discord. If you've never heard of it, it's a chat messaging app, like bulletin board kind of channel thing where we just have a bunch of different chats on different topics.
Think of it as Slack for video games.
Yeah, sharing GIFs, sharing videos, sharing whatever, deals, BS, making fun of each other. Yep. Trevor or Teacup sharing nightmare images. So
Jesus Christ, we're gonna have to stop him from posting images or something, because some of the shit that he finds, I don't get it.
I made him a mod.
What were you thinking?
I don't know. So yeah, join the Discord. bit.ly/gap discord, GAPDISCORD in any browser, and that'll take you to the Discord channel. Join it. There is a mobile app, which is excellent, by the way.
Great.
So highly suggest you download it on your phone.
Constantly on it.
And there's a desktop app, I think, for all the
major
PC platforms.
Yeah.
And of course, you can also do it in browser even. So like if you're at work and it's like blocked and you can't install apps, you can even kind of get around and do it through the browser. So yeah, bit.ly/gap discord. Do it.
You know you wanna.
Yeah. And then you can, I guess we can get into our what you've been playing. Dane.
Yo.
I've been playing Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Excellent. I have questions.
I might have answers because I'm still relatively early in it, to say the truth.
Good. So tell me about Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Fire Emblem.
I played, full disclosure, I played Fire Emblem Awakening. That was my last Fire Emblem. I skipped the last game. So Fire Emblem Awakening on 3DS. Played that. Loved that. Can't remember if I made it to the very, very end or not. I know I was pretty far in. I might not have actually finished it, but either way, really enjoyed it. Did skip the last one, the one that ended up having, I believe, was it 2 or 3 versions that they sold separately?
I think it was, maybe it was 3.
I just remember you bought the super duper fancy one that had all of the all the
Awakening
stuff.
was like the first big 3DS one.
I feel like Awakening is the one that kind of made everybody sit up, at least in North America. That's the one that kind of made everybody sit up and take notice of Fire Emblem. Yeah, that was the one where kind of started the Fire Emblem, ooh, this game's pretty rad.
Yeah, it was Fates.
Right.
It was the next one, which came with 3 versions, 2 physical versions, which were Birthright and Conquest, and the third one titled Revelation.
Right. I remember there's multiple versions.
So I beat all 3 of those. I beat Awakening, and then after that was Valencia, I believe, Shadows of Valencia, which was essentially a remake of one of the earlier
original
games.
I thought it was the original one.
Yeah, Gaiden. I guess maybe it's the original one.
So I skipped that one as well.
So yeah. Anyway. And now we are at 3 Houses, which...
The first one on the Switch.
Yeah, definitely the first one on the Switch.
The first one on a quote-unquote home console
in quite a while.
Since the one on the Wii, which I never played the one on the Wii.
I never played the Wii one either. Because the Wii... Bleh.
And there wasn't one on the Wii U, so at least in North America.
I mean, the Wii U is amazing.
Amazingly bad.
Version?
I don't think there was a Wii U version.
No, a Wii version. Was it Wii or was it GameCube?
There was a Wii Fire Emblem. I know this because I remember looking at the box in one of my used video game stores, and I remember seeing it on the shelf, and I was like, oh, interesting.
Oh yeah, Radiant Dawn.
Yeah. That
was 2007 Wii.
Then there was Shadow Dragon, and that was the first one on the DS.
Yeah, I never played that one. I think my first Fire Emblem was the 3D. It was Awakening.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. It's funny because they've been making Fire Emblem games since the 1990s.
Yep.
It's just that a lot of them, I don't know how many of them were released outside of Japan as part of it. So Gaiden was the second one. And I don't believe...
Yeah, that's the one that was remade with Valencia. Anyway, now we're on the Switch. 3 houses.
Sweet.
They've taken and learned from all past games.
Excellent.
It's a strategy RPG with relationship building, character recruitment. This one, oh my god, borrows seems like so much from like the Persona series, because it actually has like... It opens up with like a little first battle to get you used to some of the basic mechanics. And then you're introduced to like the 3 leaders of the different houses, hence the 3 houses.
Right.
And quite early in the game, which are like
3
choose one
kingdoms, right? Like the 3 houses are like kind of 3 kingdoms.
The 3 houses, 3 empires, 3 kingdoms. It's all the same. And you're supposed to choose one. You really don't know anything about them, which is kind of weird how quickly they throw you into that. But whatever, let's be honest, everyone does it all based off of looks. And, I went with the Eagles, which was the female character, because the other 2 were men, no offense. But all the lady gamers out there, they have their crush on for some of the other characters, I'm not going to lie. But, it's basically they have different characters in each of the houses with they're basically different classes. They're almost like 3 different groups of character parties with different classes, but you can recruit characters from the other houses as you go along in the game.
Okay.
But basically you start out with that one house leader and then their ragtag group of people that follow them.
Right.
And they're in a church academy type setting, and you become an instructor. And this is where some of the Persona stuff kind of comes along. There's a calendar. There's all kinds of little different mini games. You have the ability to do so many things during like a period before a battle.
Okay.
Like you can do fishing, or you can do cooking, or you can take some of your students, you can take them for a meal and then it boosts their stats, or you can teach lessons and then you can, boost your students and your own abilities as well, because you gain experience through all this stuff.
Right.
And so do your students as well.
Can you skip all of that?
Yeah, actually you can. Like, you can auto do like everything.
Oh, okay.
So like you can if you don't want to choose and like be in control of what students you teach or what lessons you teach or what paths you choose for your students, you can just kind of like auto and it just,
because like a lot of that stuff is new in this game, right? Like I don't.
Oh yeah, it's all. None of them have had.
Right.
None of them have had this.
Because I was like, I don't remember all that. Like, I don't want to call it nonsense, but stuff in between like the battles in the previous game that I played. So
there's a lot of stuff between the battles when it comes to the whole, this whole teaching and.
Is it fun?
Mini games. Yeah, it is fun because you get in the old, they've all been different. Some of them you had like a village, right?
Yep.
That you would walk around and it was just like a little top-down representation that you just like whipped around and talked to characters, and you randomly got little chat scenes between the characters and you built up your relationships.
Yeah.
So this is essentially the same thing, but in all like 3D in an environment you go around and actually physically walk around.
Right.
And then they've also added like more of the activities, like I said, the fishing, the cooking. There is a training area where I think you can do duels and stuff, but I haven't unlocked it yet.
Okay.
Because I'm still pretty early. But yeah, there's like tons of stuff you can do in terms of like in between the battles, and it's all for like customizing the characters, unlocking their different classes,
right?
Upgrading their classes and whatnot after you get a certain amount of experience. Instead of it all just being menus, they've kind of made it like a whole gameplay aspect to it all, which is kind of neat,
right?
And again, not all of it, but a bunch of it you can just like do the auto, just choose the best thing for me. Whether it really is the best thing, I don't know. I haven't autoed anything,
right?
And then, you get all these relationship building opportunities like in all the other games.
Right.
I assume I haven't gotten far enough, but in all the other Fire Emblems, when your relationship got far enough along, you would essentially marry characters.
Yeah.
And then they would have offspring, which would like either produce new classes or inherit some of their parents' skills or abilities.
Be stronger or possibly weaker in some areas. Like, yeah, so I remember that.
I'm pretty sure that's in here. I just haven't gotten far enough there because I think the farthest I've gotten any of my relationships right now are into the C range. And you don't get married until you get up to like S rank.
S rank.
And I don't know if you can marry multiple characters. I'm already flirting with multiple of my students, which just seems really wrong.
I was just gonna say, wait a second. The relationships.
Hey, it's a Japanese game, okay?
Are your students
between students and between you?
But
as an instructor, the weird thing is that as the instructor, you're like the same age as the students. You're not old, so
still they're your students.
I know it's kind of
wrong.
Welcome to anime. Boop, 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 boop.
So messed up.
But yeah, there's been some other older, newer characters that have like popped into the story where I'm at right now. I'm like, oh, I see a little romance and opportunity going on here. Yeah, it's terrible, but it's amazing. It's awesome. Boy. It's so good. So when you aren't screwing around with all this crap,
right?
It is a top-down strategy game.
Okay.
It's Fire Emblem. It's grid-based.
Right.
It's different terrain affects, your defense or, your attack. You've moved so many spaces. Different classes have different ranges, different weapons, different attacks. It's got like a weapon wheel kind of thing where this type of weapon beats this weapon. This weapon's effective against that type of class of character.
So they've gotten rid of then the like sword, lance, axe thing?
No, they still have that. Yeah, that's what I mean, like the weapon wheel thing. So they still have that base. This beats that beats that.
Right. Kind of that rock, paper, scissors style thing.
And then they have like a bunch of they have some like new mechanic, which I'm not really entirely sure how it works. Like I haven't played with it enough, but like you can equip battalions.
Oh.
So like your characters will move along the map, but they'll also have like a little group of guys with them.
Interesting.
I really don't understand the mechanic yet, so I haven't played enough with it. I've been able to initiate some team up attacks with with other characters.
Nice.
A big thing with Fire Emblem, obviously, is leveling up. Choosing different jobs.
Yeah.
For your characters or classes,
equipping weapons.
And the big Fire Emblem thing is the whole like permadeath is like one of the mechanics in the game. So if you
choose to play that way.
If you choose to play normal or casual. I'm playing casual, not going to lie, because I don't want any of my beautiful babies dying. And I will play it normal after. That's usually how I always do it.
Hardcore after?
Yeah, well, not hardcore. I'll play it normal. But another mechanic that they have in this one, which I believe they had in Valencia.
All right.
I don't think they had it in the Birthright ones or Awakening, but I do know it was in Tales of Valencia. You can turn back time up to, I think it's 3 times per battle.
So like just like a turn then?
Yeah, so like say you screwed up and you put your guy in like a bad position.
Yeah.
So that he would die. And it's like, oh, shoot. It's like, rewind.
Okay. That's very helpful.
I haven't used it yet. And I think you might actually be able to go back a couple steps. I can't remember someone's going to yell at me about this, but I haven't used it. So I don't know if they've changed it at all. But I know the mechanic is there.
I can see that being very helpful because you put a guy.
Yeah,
say
you're like,
your wizard
crap.
gets like out of position or whatever, and then suddenly a knight rolls up on him, and bam, he's done. You're like, shit. Whereas before, you'd have to re-roll that whole, you would like
be
map
like,
or whatever that whole game. So now you could just rewind it and go, oh, I guess I'm not going to do that again.
But yeah, it's turn-based. Top-down RPG.
Is there weapon durability?
There is weapon durability, but that's okay because you want to use different weapons. That's the whole point. You don't want to be using the crappy old weapons.
No, I get that. I get this argument. But you're also the guy that thought that the weapon durability in Breath of the Wild was okay, too. So I don't know how much I can trust your opinion when it comes to weapon durability. So I was listening to something else, and as soon as they mentioned weapon durability, I'm not going to lie. That right there was kind of like a, kind of don't want to play this anymore.
You get so many weapons, it's not even an issue. It's
not
a non-issue.
It's the fact that you get rad weapons and then they fucking break. Like, that shit sucks.
Then you just get more rad weapons.
So, like, before, I remember in the other Fire Emblem games, like, there was weapons, which was cool, but they didn't fucking break when you used them. Like, what is with the Japanese weapon durability?
I look at it more like weapon uses.
That's durability.
It's like casting spells.
No, it's not like casting spells.
Anyway, it's been in.
I need to look into this more.
It's been in the last few games.
Somebody posted something on Twitter about weapon durability, and then I thought that it might have something to do with this. So I went investigating, and now I'm not sure if I want to play this.
Yeah, it's Fire Emblem. It's amazing. I love it.
And the worst part is that I love, like, my all-time favorite Final Fantasy game is Final Fantasy Tactics, which is totally the precursor to these games, or this. I guess I should say precursor, because Tactics came out in like the mid '90s, and these have actually been around for a while. But nonetheless, Tactics is probably my all-time favorite Final Fantasy game, and it's not even a mainline Final Fantasy game. But, like, I don't know, like, nobody, in my opinion, nobody else has been able to get, like, Fire Emblem Awakening came close. It came close to hitting that same, like, Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah,
like,
the weapons actually don't break. They just become less effective.
Okay, and so it's not like your sword is all of a sudden like, I don't have a sword anymore because it broke.
They just become less effective, and you can go to the blacksmith and upgrade them, repair them, whatever. And then, like, really cool weapons, like you were worried about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any really super amazing weapons. Apparently, they just they recharge.
Okay.
So I was just looking that up right now.
You're retconning this pretty hard here, so.
Well, because I realized, like, I had a weapon.
Yep.
It said that it broke, but I still had it, so it's like I was confused.
Okay.
But yes, I had to double check that. So they become less effective.
Right.
But yeah, you go to the blacksmith. You go to the blacksmith. You upgrade them. I
just don't understand what, like, the Japanese fascination with this whole breaking weapon shit.
I think it's because if you don't have, it adds another level of strategy. Because you can equip multiple weapons, right? So it forces you to either switch weapons, build a different loadout. Otherwise, there would be no point of doing loadouts. It's like you always have the best weapon.
You're always getting new weapons and shit, though. And like you said yourself, like some weapons are better, more effective against other like enemies, right?
If they didn't degrade and you didn't have the ability to equip more than one, you would only have one. You'd only ever carry your best weapon, and you would only ever spam it, and then the strategy would be reduced down to I'm always going to send this.
But that's what I'm saying. Allow you to equip like one or two, right? Like, so say you could equip two.
Yeah, which you can. You can equip more than two.
Right. I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, we're removing weapon degradation. You would always have you would always want to have one or two equipped because, you know, like you said, this weapon's better against that enemy.
The degradation
and so on and so forth, right?
The degradation makes you think about it more, right? Because if you don't have that, then you only rely on the one OP weapon, aka Bloodstained.
I mean, I was constantly upgrading my weapons in Bloodstained, so I mean,
but you do get on your spells, like you do get pretty. You know, count on one because it's like, oh, there's no limit to this amazing spell. Spam, 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 spam. So it's just to add in.
See, and again, we played games differently, clearly, because I didn't do that. So
I wasn't forced to change. So why would I?
That's fair.
I kill everything in one hit because I'm super OP. Why would I change? I ain't gonna make life harder on me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's, right. I don't think it's a big deal. But yeah, top down strategic RPG with relationship building. Now there's a whole like Persona 4 high school kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
It's awesome. There's so much shit in this game. There's so much to do. They've added so many little systems. I'm all for it. I'm pretty happy. I don't know how it plays out with the 3 houses. Like after you beat it, do you play as the other ones? Like
my understanding is you can start over and play as one of the other houses, and my understanding is they're all quite different stories.
I'm nowhere near starting over, but that sounds about right, especially with the last 2 games kind of having 2 different paths, and the one before that having 3 complete different campaigns. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to you keeping us updated on your Fire Emblem findings. I'm going to hold off for the moment, and I'll think about it.
Yeah, well, you didn't stick with Awakening or Fates, so...
I didn't play Fates, like, straight up, so... Awakening, I did drop, like, 40 hours into. Them.
Awakening, okay, well,
yeah.
If it's more of that, with more systems. It's Fire Emblem. It's amazing. It's the best game ever.
Yeah. So like that's so like for me personally, it's like this is the challenge for me is like there's the half of me that loves the strategy RPG stuff where I'm like, hell yeah, I want that. Like put that into my fucking veins.
I like Fire. I like
Tactics,
Final Fantasy Tactics.
Right.
This is Final Fantasy Tactics.
But when you start going on and on about all the other crap outside of like the battles and stuff like that, like the thing that was great about Tactics was obviously there was story beats and things like that, and obviously there was, a job system and a weapon system, and you gotta change jobs and change weapons and level up and blah blah blah. But like overall, it was kind of streamlined, if that makes sense. Whereas like in this, a lot of that side stuff to me, I'm like, am I just like gonna get into this and get sidetracked and like kind of half turned off by all this additional stuff that I don't really necessarily want.
The thing is they give you control about how much of that stuff you want to get into. You can skip it. You can essentially skip it all and just do battles, but then I think the battles would get monotonous and boring. Like it adds a break and different stuff. And the character interactions are fun. The cutscenes are amazing. They're like full anime cutscenes.
Right.
Characters are beautiful. Fire Emblem rules.
No, that's fair. That's cool.
I don't know if it's up your alley, but man, I've ever since the first DS one, Fire Emblem's like it's one of my favorite series. I love it.
Like I said, Awakening was great. I definitely
almost forgot, and it has amiibo support.
Oh,
I haven't used any amiibo yet, but.
Do you know what they do?
Apparently they give you rewards. It says it's compatible with I think it's compatible with all the amiibo, but it specifically calls out the fact that you get greater rewards for using Fire Emblem amiibo.
So the same crap as in the other games. You scan an amiibo, a little chest opens up or whatever, armor, and then you ammo, get weapons, a piece of something or whatever.
Yeah.
Huh. Good to see that they're still trying to figure out what the fuck to do with those things.
I'll have to play with that. I've been so goddamn busy. I haven't even been able to play as much Fire Emblem as I would like to.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff on the go. I played a game I could talk about.
Wah, wah, wah.
I know. In hindsight, I was like, I played it, and then I was like, wait, I can't even talk about this. Why did it? Whatever. And then I have been like playing hardcore Dauntless, man. I got hard. I got like season. This season is hardcore. And
there's a new hunt pass. This is the pirate season, right?
Yeah, man. And I'm already level 17 on the hunt pass. I'm like burning through the hunt pass this time.
Does it max out?
Yeah, but level 50 is the max.
When does the hunt pass go till?
End of I think September. It's like, was it 35 days or something like that from when it started? I'm not sure exactly. I'd have to look it up right now, but but I'm cruising through it. I topped out the last hunt pass at like level 27 or something like that. This one I've been like trying to log in every day just to get my daily like hunt pass tokens, if you will. And then they've got the weekly challenges, and this week every week there's like 4 challenges that you can do, and each one of those challenges is good for 150 hunt pass tokens.
Yeah, 150 hunt pass tokens.
So in order to level up your hunt pass, it costs you 100 tokens. So if you do the weeklies, that's like a bunch of levels. So yeah, I was in a situation where I could do 3 of them out of the 4 all together by using a specific loadout and hunting specific
nice.
Monsters. So I ended up like maxing out my hunt pass already for the week. So I'm waiting for it to reset.
You're gonna hit max level or what?
I don't know. It's funny because I'm not even I didn't even go elite this year, like this hunt pass, like this season yet. I'm debating, like, I'm going to see how far I get, and then maybe I'll go elite towards the end and just get all of the previous, like, loot that I've unlocked for the various levels. So we'll see. I don't know if I keep up with it. We will see. I did get an opportunity to talk to one of the Dauntless devs when we were at the Twitch party, or the Twitch meetup, I should say. It sounds like there's some pretty exciting stuff. It sounds like he was telling me that they've got over 13 million users playing Dauntless, which is huge across all the platforms. But still, that's like, we're talking Monster Hunter numbers, which is pretty rad. It is coming out on Switch later this year, so they're working on that big time right now. I mean, he said there's some other cool stuff happening. I can't really disclose any of it, but it sounds pretty exciting, so I'm pretty stoked. That game just, like, it's the perfect game to jump in and play a few matches in the evening and then jump out. That's what it is. Like, it's so easy to, because they are only like 15, 20 minutes max kind of at a time. So, like, I can jump in, go on like 2 or 3 hunts, and then jump out, and I've played for an hour. I've done like some of my daily stuff, and then I'm off to the races. And I don't know, it's just that jump in and jump out nature of it just is so easy to do. At the same time, though, if you want to jump in and play for multiple hours, like, there's more than enough content there, because you're like wanting to go towards a new piece of armor or a new upgrade a weapon, or you know what I mean?
I wonder if they learn these lessons on their own to have it like a very good gameplay loop that you're going to check in every day, or is this something they learned from like looking at Fortnite? Was it something they figured out on their own? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it's a bit of both, right? Like you look at mobile games and you're like, okay, well, it's a free-to-play game. What's a way that we can hopefully get people to kind of like log in? The funny thing is they don't, to my knowledge, they don't tell you anywhere that, like, if you run around and do all these, that you'll get those points. Like, you kind of got to stumble across it, right? So, like, when like, a while back, before they even had the season's passes, they had these, like, little flags that would fly around in the main area. And I would run around and grab the flags, because you would get like an there was like an in-game currency at the time that you would get a little bit of like for grabbing all of those flags. So then when they started doing hunt passes, I mean, I guess it was a natural progression to morph that kind of into, you know, a way that you can get 50 a day of your hunt pass tokens, essentially, right? And it's smart, because you log in, you can do it in 10, 15 minutes. If you can do it faster than that if you're really hauling or whatever, and then you're kind of done. But like, it's also, you could just jump in and do one hunt, right? Like just do maybe one hunt, maybe like do that one other thing towards your hunt pass for that week or whatever, right?
Yeah, I think that's
it's smart.
I was like, Fortnite was really the one with the battle pass, right? Were they the first, or was that Dota?
Dota's done the battle pass for a few years now.
Yeah,
I feel like the ones that really kind of pushed it. But I feel like Fortnite is the one that kind of took that and made some changes to it, and sort of went like, okay, well, we can integrate this into seasons of like competitive like competitive play and stuff like that as well, right? So
yeah.
And I mean, it's at this point, it's essentially now it's just
good. It's good. Like,
yeah,
it's awesome when you just jump in and get stuff every time. Like that's the whole point. You want your time be rewarded for your time and effort.
Yeah. So yeah.
I really
so like
every
night I've essentially logged in and I've at least gotten one level on my hunt pass pretty much every night by playing a few matches, grabbing the like in-game tokens, and like I've managed to do almost. So like I said, I think right now I'm like level 17 or something on my hunt pass already, whereas like I think I topped out last season at like 26 or something like that. So yeah, it's cool. It's just so good. It's just so easy. Like, and right around the time when I feel like I'm peaking, if you will, like where I'm kind of like, oh, I'm sort of getting tired of whatever, then I switch weapons. So, like, for a long time, I was just doing the dual pistols. Like, I was just, and then, like, a while ago, one of the things for the hunt pass was, like, kill 10 behemoths with a different type of weapon. And I was like, okay, well, so I leveled one of those up to a decent level. And then I started using that. And it was, like, a whole different game, right? And I mean, I'm sure anybody that plays Monster Hunter is like, well, yeah, all the different weapons feel super different. You're like, it's a completely different way of hunting the animals. So yeah, so I've actually been playing recently. I've been playing a ton of the war pike, and it's like this big. You got like the long reach. You kind of got the pokes. You're flipping and spinning and doing all kinds of stuff. But the cool thing is that using one of their abilities, you can like essentially stun the animal when it's like charging and stuff like that. There'll be like a little icon that'll pop up over their head, and if you hit them with a heavy attack or the right kind of weapon with their heavy attack, you can actually like stun it, which then allows everybody to pile on and do like massive damage. So like playing as the Warpike has that ability, which has come in like super handy a few times. Just being able to like do that, and especially depending on like the monster you're hunting, it's just like, fuck, man, like everybody piles on and you're just like dropping tons and tons of damage while it's like down, kind of like stunned, right? So yeah, so that's been like super cool, and it just plays so different because you're like in there trying not to get squished, which is very different than like the kind of staying back, trying to like do the crits and trying to like make sure that everybody's kind of alive and different things like that with the dual pistols. So it's pretty cool. I've been working on like building up one of the swords in the game that I'm hoping to start sort of playing a bit more with that one as well. So it's like there's the hammer. I don't know if it's a little bit too slow for me. I find I get too into my like combos, and then the monsters like kick my ass way too hard. But maybe I'm just getting too greedy. That's the other thing, is I'm learning to be a bit more patient with the Warpike, where like, because as soon as you get into a combo, your character is going to continue that combo until, so it's like there's kind of that follow through that's going to happen. And if the monster's like, I'm going to kick your ass, then that's kind of what that's going to happen. Right. So, but yeah, Dauntless, man, it's like I said, it's gotten a hold of me hard, and it's great. So
and it's free.
Come play with me. It's online. I can play with, if you play on PC, you play on Xbox One.
I don't want to play with you.
PS4. Fuck you, I don't want to play with you either. Maybe one of our listeners, maybe somebody else out there is like, hey, cool, I'll play that. I'll come play Dauntless with you. This Rick guy, he sounds like an asshole. He doesn't want to play.
No, I've been meaning to get back and do it.
So
I have it installed.
Cool. Oh, he still got it installed.
Sitting on my desktop in my Epic launcher, staring me in the face like, hey, look at me.
Probably needs to be updated a ton by now.
It doesn't auto-update?
I mean, it does, but I don't know how often you like launch your Epic launcher, so.
Well, Dane, let's get into some news and stuff, shall we?
Let's do that.
We got news. Gambling laws block Grand Theft Auto Online update in over 50 countries. So we didn't talk about this last week, but I believe it was last week. GTA Online released the new Diamond Casino update, which basically put in a freaking casino that you buy chips in and gamble.
Right.
Except for you can't take your money out like a real casino and go like crazy at the bar or wherever, blow your money on crazy stuff because you did awesome and won at the casino. No, it just turns it into in-game currency so you can buy in-game fake houses and cars, and it's kind of dumb. But hey, if you want to do that and that's something you want to do, good on you. I don't really see anything wrong with it. I know a lot of people were like butthurt and like equating this to the whole microtransaction thing, which it kind of is. It's like a worse version of a loot box.
Kind of. I mean, it is literally a casino.
But once again, it's kind of like you don't have to take part in it. Like at this point, it's like devs are going to do all kinds of grimy things to get your money because that's what they're in the business of. They're not in the business of making video games, in the business of taking your money. Making video games just happens to be the method they use to do that.
Right.
And, like, whatever. The internet was like crazy up in arms last week, and that's why we didn't talk about it. I was like, I'm so indifferent now. It's just like, people are going to be stupid with their money. Just be stupid with their money. I'm stupid with my money. So, you know what? Everyone else, you just be stupid with your money. And just, I don't know, virtual items and goods are just, they're never worth it. It doesn't matter. Because it's all fake and it doesn't exist. Buying plastic toys and Transformers you can look at and cuddle and go to sleep with, that's different.
Yeah.
Virtual DLC and items is lame. Well, you can't grab it.
It's a physical item that you
can't
could
put it in the case. You can't show it off.
Yeah.
It just I don't know. I hate DLC, period. But whatever. It's all good. Anyway, it got blocked in a bunch of countries because, online gambling is against the law in a lot of countries, whether it be real or virtual. It doesn't matter. So, anyway, a bunch. I'm not going to read the countries if you're interested.
There's a ton of them.
You already know if you play this freaking game if it's been banned in your country or not. I guess the thing with this is that it is an actual real casino. Probably just going to add more fire to the DLC loot box legislation shit that's going on right now. But it's Rockstar because they really don't give a big F, so it's not surprising.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they probably talked to, their buttload of on-staff lawyers to make sure they did everything on the up and up, in that they wouldn't be in.
I'm sure they check their butts.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, whatever. I haven't even touched GTA Online.
Me neither.
I think I played it a couple times at launch. It's changed so much. I know it just rakes in so much cash, and tons of people are still playing it. I know there's whole YouTube channels that are just like dedicated to GTA Online. It's antics. Wild, man. Like it's still pretty. It's huge.
There was somebody on the front page of Twitch tonight, and they were playing GTA Online before we started recording, and I was like, "Are you serious? This is on the front page? Like, wow."
Yeah.
So yeah,
it is.
Still a huge game.
QuakeCon happened. Surprise, Doom 2 and Doom 3 are now available for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Doom 1 and 2 are even available for smartphones. So yeah, that was like, and they're out now.
Okay. I don't know how well those first two games would hold up at this point. I imagine Doom 3 probably holds up all right.
I have Doom 3.
I mean, as long as you use the duct tape mod.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what that callback is in Doom 3, you either had to have your gun out or your flashlight out.
You couldn't
but
have
not
both out.
Because you don't have two arms.
No.
You're a one-armed
yeah. So the duct tape mod essentially strapped the light to the gun so you could have light while you were running around. It made the game a lot better.
When did Doom 3 come out? Do you remember?
Oh, we're talking
I know I have the box and I have the disc.
5.
So I'm wondering if I have it on Steam or not. So,
I think 2005.
Then, of course, these were stealth released, and then the internet blew up immediately soon after when everyone realized, hey, you have to sign up for a Bethesda account to play these offline games online. And it's like, what? Apparently, Bethesda has come out after the fact and been like, oh, this is for online play. You shouldn't have needed it. You should have been able to skip it. But anyway, people were saying it was interrupting their gameplay sessions when they lost connection to the internet, or just the whole fact is like, why do I need to make an account for a single player offline game, which really hurt a lot of people. Apparently they're going to fix it and make it optional, but essentially you need it. So then there was a whole meme on the internet. Everyone was like dumming up screenshots from like, you name it, like Super Mario World, like just a Bethesda.net account is required to play this title. Please connect to the internet.
Oh, that's funny.
Like Super Nintendo games, Street Fighter, Zelda, like you name it. There's I've seen like dozens of like screenshots where people like patched in the error message about a Bethesda.net account, which is hilarious because it's like, really? Really? You really need emails and to buff up your .net account numbers that bad?
So August of 2004 is when it came out on PC, and then it came out the next year on Xbox. So 2005 on Xbox.
When did Steam come out?
2000 and so Steam technically came out earlier,
2003,
but it was required to play Half-Life 2. And Half-Life 2
didn't
came out.
Quite have the store up.
I want to say 2004, I believe, because like you needed it to play
12th, 2003.
Yeah, because you needed it to play
basically the orange box, wasn't it?
Counter-Strike 1.6.
Oh yeah, Counter-Strike.
That was like the first big game, and then it was required, though. You absolutely had to have it in order to play Half-Life 2 and the orange box stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's kind of when Steam... But back then, Steam sucked ass.
Yeah,
everybody
they hadn't quite gotten to the point where they had the store up with all everyone else's games, right?
Yeah, no, initially it was just theirs. Yeah, it was actually funny because I bought the physical copy of the orange, like the Half-Life 2 collector's edition, which came with like the t-shirt and shit. But if I would have bought the online version also included TF2. So that was like kind of how they got you. Like if you bought the digital version, it came with pretty much everything in the orange box. But if you bought the physical copy, you got the game,
everything but
except like TF2 and stuff like that. So it was actually funny because a few days later, I ended up buying Team Fortress 2. That was my first digital online purchase that I purchased off of Steam, and then it just downloaded it one afternoon. I remember I went to 7-Eleven, and I came back, and my game was installed.
Your big gulp in hand.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like life-changing. At that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible.
I think my Doom 3... I don't think my Doom 3 is registered on Steam. I think I have to physically like reinstall it from a disc. I wonder if it would even freaking work on my Windows 10 PC.
You know, now that you're talking about this, I don't know if...
I know I own Doom 3. I see the box on the shelf behind me.
Yeah, no, I own it as well. And you're right. It is not... It was a physical copy. It's not part of my Steam library. So, yeah, it would have been just standalone off the DVD.
Because I know in the early days you were able to put the CD keys for some games into Steam, and then they got added to your library.
Yeah, that was near the beginning. I don't know that... Yeah, either way. That's actually funny. I never even thought of that. I would actually need to get I would actually have to get a DVD drive, plug it in via USB so that I could put my disc in, and then hope that it actually installed. Because I don't imagine that Doom 3 was set, obviously it wasn't set up for, it wasn't even set up for Windows 7, I don't think at that point. It would have been Vista? No, that was pre-Vista. Look at that, XP. So, anyways, good walk down memory lane. That's kind of cool. I don't know how well the Doom and Doom 2, because we're talking about classic Doom from 1993, not the new one that was released a few years ago.
Yeah.
That does also include the expansion packs, which included episode 4, Thy Flesh Consumed. And then Doom 2 also included the re-release, which includes the master levels and all the other stuff. So, just kind of cool. Oh, it even includes the expansion pack for Doom 3 as well. The Resurrection of Evil and the Lost Missions expansion packs. So, cool. I remember playing Doom 3 for the first time on my PC, and I had some friends that came over, and it blew their minds. They'd never seen anything that looked quite like Doom 3. So, some good memories.
Yeah. Moving along.
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite World Cup also happened on the weekend. Now,
Okay.
now a 16-year-old is a 3 millionaire.
Wow.
And we're all even more depressed than we already were before this.
That's a lot of money. 16-year-old American boy.
Yeah, so they had
bucks.
The World Cup. Was like top 100 players. Everyone who qualified, I think, just being there, you had a minimum $50,000.
Yeah, so in 10th place there was a Canadian, and they came in 10th place and they won $225,000.
That's a lot of money here, man. Top 4 were all Americans.
Yeah,
and that surprising, not surprising. The majority of like the top 20 were all like young teenagers, like 14, 15, 16, like ridiculous.
That's wild.
A lot of the top streamers, like Ninja, didn't even qualify. So a lot of the top streamers didn't even qualify, or if they did, they like didn't even do very well.
Huh.
So it's
interesting.
Yeah, it just seems like this is a youngin's game. It's that Twitch.
Oh man, it's that mix of building speeds, and everything, man. You gotta. It's yeah.
I watched the win, and I had no idea what was going on. Honestly, the clip.
Did it make you feel old?
It's not that it made me feel old. It kind of just made me feel like this is not a very good game to watch.
That's interesting.
Because it wasn't just like this guy shooting this guy. It was like a bunch of like walls being built around him, and like a bunch of like in progress walls, and like just a lot of spinning around and walls and spinning around and walls, and then shooting. But I didn't even see enemies that were being shot at.
Yep.
And it was like,
that's my problem when I play Fortnite.
It just seemed
I'll
very...
take a pot shot at somebody, and all of a sudden they've built a fucking castle, and they're on top of it shooting rockets down, and I'm not dead, and then
like it's awesome.
And that's it. Like,
don't get me wrong, it's awesome that all these guys are making tons of money.
It's rad,
and the kids who watch it love it. They packed an arena. They set streaming records. It was a huge event, and apparently the way they broadcast it was really cool. I didn't really watch any of it except for I saw the clip of the win.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know, like the clip from the win, it wasn't like an amazing touchdown or an awesome goal in hockey or an awesome goal in soccer.
Right.
Like there was a lot of action
that, like,
and
buzzer
shit.
Beater in basketball.
Yeah, like there was a lot of action and shit happening on the screen.
Yeah.
But it was like it wasn't clearly obvious what was going on. So like to anyone in the mainstream who doesn't play Fortnite, it just looked like a bunch of gobbledygook, and it's like, oh wow, this kid
and
won.
Then somebody was like, oh, and he won, and you're like,
and
what?
All of a sudden, this kid's a 3 millionaire. And it was like, okay, cool.
Wow.
Like I'm really reducing this down, obviously, but it's just like
I know what you mean though, because like I've tried to watch Overwatch,
like and I've seen events live. Like we have both been to events, and the energy being there and seeing it, it's just like being at a real sports event and a game. Like no doubt about it.
I do feel like we were at the League of Legends qualifiers a few years ago, like the North American qualifiers or whatever. I do also think though that watching a game like a MOBA, like Dota 2 or Smite or League of Legends, it's easier to understand a little bit of like what's going on because you're looking at everything.
You see the enemies, it's a little clearer to understand the battle.
Totally. And you can tell like, okay, these guys are doing this and this is a thing. Like it's easy for me to explain what's going on when we watch the Smite World Championships. You know, now that we've watched them a few times, she gets it and she can even kind of get into it a little bit. But like this, trying to watch Fortnite, I find is a little bit like trying to watch Overwatch for me, where it's like, as a player, I can kind of be like, oh, wow, that was kind of cool. But to an outsider and to somebody that doesn't play it a lot, it's just like, the fuck is going on here? It's just a giant jumble of mess and rockets and people dying and things are happening, and then they say like, oh, and then that team won, and they're like, why did they win? What the hell happened? And like,
I'm gonna just read this.
I feel like was a little bit like that.
I'm gonna read this comment, and this guy like sums it up perfectly. It's a cool story, but having watched a small portion of this on Sunday, I do not see the appeal of Fortnite as an esport. It's impossible to follow and revolves around people just building themselves in. And that's exactly what the clip was of the win. And I'm like, it just wasn't very monumental. It wasn't like this awesome shootout where you can clearly see the two enemies taking each other on. You know, the strategy was clearly apparent to people who play Fortnite.
Totally.
But it just didn't translate to like this amazing like clip. Like, because actually, to be honest, if you read the story, they don't even have a clip of the win because it's not exciting.
It's kind of a shooting, yeah. And that's one of the challenges I think with esports, though, right? Is that it's interesting and stuff to the people that play those games, and that's, you know, like I said before with Overwatch. Like my wife, we sat down, she watched an hour of Overwatch with me, and she had absolutely less than zero interest in ever watching it again because she like none of it made any sense, you know. And like I feel like that's a challenge / problem for esports in general, especially these types of like Fortnite and, you know, PUBG and these types of big games like this. Unless you can kind of get away to, I mean, obviously Fortnite's one of the biggest games in the world, so like as long as the people that are playing it are the ones that are watching, like you've already got a huge audience of like 100 million people or whatever it is, right? So what the hell do I know? I'm just an old guy that can't follow it along, right? And you know, like obviously the big reason that part of this is also a big story is just the sheer amount of money on the line. Like that's crazy. $3 million. The second place win was 1.8. The third place win was 1.2. The fourth place was a little over $1 million, and fifth place was 900,000. Like that's crazy. Like there's like some professional golf tournaments and stuff like that you wouldn't make that kind of money.
I heard someone saying that like he won more money than like Tiger did at the Masters.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the like. I think the win for the Masters is it's like $1.5 million or something like that.
That's crazy. Anyway, congrats to Booga.
Yeah,
the $3 millionaire now. And if he plays his cards right, he could make that money probably last for the rest of his life.
Yeah, it's
lock that up in the bank. He doesn't have to work another day in his life. He could just freaking full time live off the interest, man.
So just because we were talking about it, this last year, the winner of the Masters at Augusta, they took home $2,070,000. That was the pot was $11.5 million is the pot, and the winner's share was $2,070,000 for winning the Masters.
Forget golf, kids. Get into Fortnite.
So
you heard it here first.
That's
just flying around, going to beautiful golf courses and stuff when you can just sit in your basement with a free to play download game. Man, the choice is easy.
So yeah,
golf is a stupid fucking game. It's a stupid fucking game.
I like golf, but anyways, moving on.
Hopefully someone knows what I was referencing there with that quote. The Sega Mega Drive Mini, aka Genesis Mini, the Mega Drive Mini as it's known in Europe, has been delayed till October. I did not hear anything about it being delayed here. So
not that I'm aware of.
I believe that's only for Europe.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that sucks. I think we still get ours in September.
Woot woot.
Nintendo news: The Outer Worlds is going to be released on Nintendo Switch. Clearly, these guys have prayed to some kind of pagan god of some sorts to make this possible, because that seems like youch. But then again, I guess it's like the Skyrim engine, isn't it? Or close to. Skyrim runs on Switch, even though it looks like poo. But if you don't know what it looks like on PC, it probably looks pretty good. Question mark?
They got that new Wolfenstein game running on the Switch.
Yeah, I did not see this game coming.
Apparently, it's terrible on the Switch, but apparently it's if you want to do that to yourself, you can.
First we'll launch on PS4, Xbox One, and PC on October 25th, and then a later date on Switch. I will not play this game on Switch. I am excited for this game, though, because it looks like Fallout in space from the guys who made New Vegas, Obsidian, which New Vegas is amazing. So I'm kind of hyped for
curious.
this game.
Like, talking to people that have played early builds of it, they seem to imply that it was maybe not what people think it is, but I'm really interested to see what ends up coming out for this game. And
Obsidian did the first South Park game too, so they got some chops.
Yeah,
I'm excited to check their game out. It's neat that it's coming out on Switch.
Hopefully they can make it a somewhat less buggy game. That's unfortunately one of the things they're also known for, is like releasing games that are super buggy.
Now you're just getting them confused with Bethesda.
No, I'm thinking about their they were also the ones.
Actually, there was some game breaking bugs in New Vegas.
Yeah. Also, what was the spy MMO or RPG thing that they did?
I don't know.
Oh, what the hell's it called?
No one cares.
Oh no, people care.
No, they don't.
Oh yeah,
I'm moving along.
You would. Alpha Protocol.
There you go.
They were the ones that did
Obsidian?
Alpha Protocol. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Are you looking at facts on a web page that make that statement correct?
I'll pull it up in my Steam library right now.
Why don't you just look at Wikipedia?
Because I've already got the freaking Steam page is already up right here.
Oh, Obsidian, you piece of crap.
I told you.
It seemed wrong. Anyway, Smash Brothers had their, I believe, 4.0 update, which included Dragon Quest Hero. That came out yesterday, so by the time you hear this, it's been out for a couple days. I saw the update pop up on my Switch when I was playing Fire Emblem, and I didn't even think about it. I forgot that they had an event, kind of like a Smash Direct.
It makes sense because they got Evo coming up, right? This weekend. This weekend is Evo in Vegas.
Is it? Oh,
yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's freaking cool. I haven't had a chance to play him yet. I love Smash Brothers. It's awesome. Speaking of the Switch, Nintendo Switch Lite pre-orders are now live in the US. I checked here
in the USA.
I checked here for us because I'm like, I gotta pre-order that Pokemon Switch Lite, whether I really need it or not. I just gotta pre-order it.
No, it's not available for us yet. Come on, don't be crazy.
None of the Canadian sites have it. So
no,
but if you're in the US, you can probably snag one now. By the time you hear this, what?
Is the Pokemon one up for pre-order as well?
All of them.
Oh wow!
I was tempted because Amazon.com will let you pre-order and switch and ship to Canada, but then I just get raped on the exchange rate and duties
and the shipping and duty.
I was like, I'll just wait until Best Buy gets it or whatever. Anyway, so pre-order that if you're one of our American friends, or don't.
I was going to say, if you already have a Switch, then...
I'm really tempted to upgrade my Switch for the extra battery life. I'm kind of annoyed. I wish I knew there was a Pro coming or not coming, because if there's no Pro next year, I'm going to be so mad if I suffer with shitty battery life on the existing Switch when I don't know. I think I might just have to buy a mini.
But the mini doesn't even have nearly as good a battery life as the new Switch coming out in August.
The Lite has pretty good battery life.
It's still not as good as the updated one, though.
It's better than the original.
Yes. But the screen's also smaller.
99% of the time I play my Switch is mobile. So, I don't know.
I'm like the opposite. So
we'll see. Clearly, I'm going to get the Pokemon one. I don't know why. We're going to get to play with it at PAX, I'm sure. Then we'll be like, oh, man, I totally need this. Or I don't. Stupid Nintendo. The Game Boy turns 30 today. Well, yesterday, by the time you listen to this. I got a Game Boy at launch. I still have my original copy of Tetris.
Wow.
I don't have my original Game Boy. I don't know what happened to it. I'm pretty sure I probably traded it in for a Pocket or a Color Pocket.
Yeah. 30th anniversary. Jeez. I did not get one at launch, but I did get one several years later. Super Mario Land 2 and Tetris and a few other, obviously, like games back then. Man,
the Pocket was amazing.
See, I skipped over the Pocket, and then I went to the...
Was it the Color? Which one had the backlight?
It was the Color. The Game Boy Color, I believe, that had the
SP.
backlight.
I like the SP, the one that folded like a clamshell. That one was awesome.
Wasn't that the Advance, though?
No, the Advance came after that.
Yeah, I remember that, because the first Advance was terrible, but then the Advance SP was great. Oh, man. Now
I have the Game Boy Micro.
Same. It's in my drawer. The battery on it is freaking amazing. I love it.
Yeah, seriously. I don't think I've charged it in like 10 years and it still has a charge.
Yeah, and I still pull it out and play Game Boy Advance games on it.
That's some kind of witchcraft.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
and the screen on it is surprised. Like, it's tiny because, of course, it's the Micro, but straight up, like, the screen on that thing is
so
awesome.
Sharp.
It's so good.
It's pretty amazing because, like, my PSP sitting in my little handheld game of Hall of Fame that I have in one of my display cases.
Yep.
Like, the battery, like, totally bulged and, like, almost made the case, like, look like it was going to explode. So I got a replacement for it, but it's like, this Micro is, like, older. No swelling of the battery. Still holds a charge. Like, what the hell?
So they released the Game Boy Pocket. Then they released a Game Boy Lite, but it was Japan only, and it was actually backlit. Yeah,
that was the backlit one. And then our version eventually, after that, got backlit. I know people were importing that one.
Yeah, I don't know that we ever got one like that over here.
Not that exact same one. It was one of the color ones had backlighting, I believe.
Yeah, that might be true.
Oh, the original Game Boy was fucking terrible in bad light.
Oh, yeah, real bad.
I remember the big contraption I had to strap on it to play it.
I had the magnifier on it so that I could actually see the screen. And then I had like the little worm light thing that plugged out to the side so that it would like shine the light on the screen. It wasn't so pocketable by the time you were like had all your shit plugged into it. It was pretty wild.
It was still pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah. So
happy birthday.
Yeah. Jeez. So good. So good.
You're old now, Game Boy. Women don't even look at you anymore.
By the way, it was the Game Boy Advance SP is the first clamshell one.
Yeah, that's it was actual Advance SP.
Yeah.
I guess I just played a lot of Game Boy games on it too still.
Yeah, that makes sense because it was backwards compatible.
Yeah.
It kind of stuck out a little bit on the bottom, but
yeah, I had the version that looked like a Nintendo kind of skin on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like the gray with it's pretty sweet.
Moving along, PlayStation news. EA Access is now live on PS4 for all of you PlayStation fans that felt left out in the cold compared to your Xbox compatriots. That's $4.99 a month.
Yeah,
a revolving vault. Well, I don't know if it's a revolving vault or just a vault of games that you have access to. Early access demos to their new releases, discounts. It's not quite as here's everything that's EA like the PC version, but it's essentially the same thing that they offer on Xbox. Check out the link if you want to see the list of games that are available. Whether it's something you'd be interested in subscribing to. Sony has now shipped 100 million PS4 consoles. Wow. That's setting
that's big.
A record, being the fastest home console to reach 100 million units. Beating both the PS2 and Wii, which was, I believe, the old record holder.
Not by much. It took the PS2 a total of 5 years and 9 months. The PS4 was 5 years and 7 months.
So yeah, it wasn't, but still very impressive. You know, when before PS4 and Xbox One launched, people were like, "There's going to be no more consoles."
I know, right? Funny how that all works.
Yeah, people clearly want consoles. You know, people clearly can't wrap their minds around the amazingness that is PC gaming.
That's wild.
Sorry. No, has nothing to do with that. It's just easy. Plug it in, play.
Yeah.
Play your games, watch your Netflix, get lots of power, no drivers, no bullshit.
Sorry. Somebody posted a cumulative global console shipments for the first 72 months from launch. This was in the Eurogamer story. Daniel Ahmed on Twitter posted this graph that shows the PS1, the Switch, PS4, PS2, Wii, the 360, and the PS3 numbers, like starting at launch and going all the way till I'm assuming like 72 months after launch is, I'm assuming kind of the last. I don't know if that's, but like just watching this, looking at this list, like the way that the world talked about the PS3 and the Xbox 360, it made it sound like the 360 just creamed the PS4. And yet I'm looking at this like graph, and they were neck and neck up until about month 14. And then after that,
PS4 worldwide was definitely ahead of the 360. 360 just controlled the messaging of that era.
Yeah, like that's the crazy thing is then the PS3 like just slowly, like you just see the lines slowly converge away. Not to take anything away from the 360. It's just for whatever reason I always thought that the Xbox 360 like outsold the PS3 that generation. And
maybe in North America it did.
Maybe, but
definitely
like, these are worldwide like global shipments.
Japan and Europe were PS3.
But yet, it looks like
PS3,
almost a
PS2,
10 million.
PS1.
Looks like almost a 10 million difference between the two of them at the end of their life.
Xbox has only ever been number one in like North America.
Right. I mean, that makes sense because like they've never had a handle on
the 360
like, Japan
generation.
For sure, right?
The 360 generation, they had the exclusives. They had the better third-party ports. They had the better performance. They had the better online. They had the better messaging, and that was when Sony was like full of itself, and they kind of allowed. But
I still worry they're doing that going into the PS5, so we'll see if they don't make that mistake again. The other thing, the other takeaway is just how fast the Wii sold. Like the Wii is head and shoulders above everything on this list up until like month 60. And then all of a sudden it just kind of flattens out, and then from there the PS4 has actually kind of overtaken it.
Yeah,
but like
everyone figured out there was no other game. There was nothing else to play beyond Wii Sports.
Yeah, you might not be wrong. So, and the PS2, geez, what a fucking monster that thing is.
Yeah, well, that's PS4 is killing it. That's awesome. We already knew that.
Yeah,
congratulations,
for sure.
Sony.
Oh, there isn't. That's what's missing from this list. There's not a Xbox One that's not on this list.
It's on there. You just can't see it.
No, it's not on here. That
was me insulting it. Maybe they don't have numbers for it, or they're just like
because Microsoft stopped like doing numbers for it a while back, right? So we're not really sure because they started counting how many subscribers they have now.
So they just don't want to make it up. So
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
I think the Xbox is around 60,000 or 60 million. 50 or 60 is last I heard.
Yeah. Those numbers I was understanding were quite old, though, too, so I don't know.
And I know the Switch is catching up quickly.
Yeah, the Switch is on this list, and
it's in the 40 million, almost 40 million.
Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely on track. It is tracking very similar to the PS4 right now. So,
yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Concrete Genie, it's got a price and release date. It's coming out October 8th for $29, $99 American, or $39 for the digital deluxe version. My guess is going to be that's going to translate to $39 and $49 Canadian.
What's Concrete Genie?
It's like a first party. Well, I don't know. It's first party. It's a Sony
developer
exclusive.
Pixel Opus. Yeah, part of Sony's Worldwide Studios.
It's I don't know what it is. Looks like an
it was random. Like, I don't feel like I'd ever even heard of this before, and all of a sudden, like, we're talking about a release date.
It's been on the last couple E3s, I believe. It looks like an action adventure game with some kind of like spray painting, kind of like. It looks very pretty. It looks neat. There was an event for it in the States. Of course, not being U.S. media, we weren't invited. But
of course,
I'm hearing good things. It looks really cool.
Huh. Interesting.
I like that it's not a super expensive game, and apparently there's a VR mode as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, it looks cool from the trailers I've seen. I haven't played it. Actually, to be honest, that probably will be at PAX, and then we might actually have something to say about it.
Yeah, this looks neat. At least,
it looks cool.
Yeah, now I want to actually go learn more about it. It looks neat. I'm amazed that
that's why I brought it up.
I haven't heard about it.
Because it's got a release date, and it looks kind of promising. So it's just like, just put it on your radar, people.
Cool.
Whether it's good or not, I don't know.
And the price is right, which is rad.
I've been hearing some positive buzz about it, so that's why I wanted to mention it. I don't think we've really talked about it much in passing. You know what? I'm almost 110% positive that's going to be at PAX.
Here's hoping.
Public service announcements. New games for Gold for August.
They got
announced.
A banging month this year. Like this month is real good.
It is a pretty good month. Gears of War 4.
Yeah.
Forza Motorsport 6.
Mm-hmm.
Torchlight. And Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
Hell yeah.
We know you're a big fan of that one. And the Forzas.
You haven't even played Lords of Shadow.
I know, I own it. I said you are a big fan.
I am. That game was great.
You keep breaking my balls about not playing it.
You're the big Castlevania guy.
I know, I'm the in-house
Castlevania. I play all the Castlevania games.
Metroidvania is very different.
Yeah. And then like that one, which is really good, and
it's okay.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Just don't waste your time with the one that comes after it, unfortunately.
Not a bad month.
Yeah, no, that's a great lineup right there. Jeez.
Xbox also announced a summer spotlight, kind of like their old school summer of arcade. I think they did this last year, where they're just highlighting a bunch of games coming to online, obviously,
right,
to the online store. They don't even call it the arcade anymore, do they? No.
I don't.
They killed
I
that.
don't think they call it Xbox.
Just the Microsoft
Arcade,
Store, the Xbox Store. Blackout Club, which is available now. Metal Wolf Chaos XD coming out August 6th. Age of Wonders Planetfall August 6th. Wreckfest August 27th. And Blair Witch August 30th, which had a trailer that was teased at E3. Apparently there's a gameplay trailer out now for that if you're interested in checking that out. Usually these, when Microsoft does these events, they kind of curate these titles, and they're usually pretty good games. So
right.
Yeah, so that's happening. And
Very
then
cool.
PlayStation Plus announced their free games for August. Again, down to our whole big 2 titles, because no more Vita games or PS3 games. We've got Wipeout Omega Collection, which is awesome.
It's a good game. It's a good game.
Which has a VR component. So
sweet.
Which is freaking awesome if you've got a PSVR. And then Sniper Elite 4. I've never played any of the Sniper Elite games. I know people really like them. So
the Elite 4 was that reviewed pretty good. Like, people seem to really like that game.
So yeah, this is the both months are actually pretty decent for once. They've been pretty shite the last little while. So I think everyone wins this month.
I think. I mean, I definitely do want to say though that that Xbox month is fucking killer this month. So
it is pretty good.
Yeah.
Shall we get into our free for all section, Dane?
Free for all.
At LTX, we ran into a fine gentleman.
Yeah.
From it's Antline is the company, right?
Yeah.
It's Antline Audio. I didn't get his card. You have his card. But anyway, they make.
Funny, I do have his card, and it's not in front of me right now.
They make
unfortunately
mics and audio stuff. And he gave me and Dane a couple what they call the ModMic from Antlion Audio. It's a detachable boom mic that you can essentially attach to any headset. They made a wired version, and this is the wireless one. Basically, it just gives you the freedom to choose any headset. Say you got a really expensive super mega audiophile headset that you like to listen to music or your shows or your games on your PC or whatnot, but it doesn't have a mic, so you can't use it for your Destiny sessions or your Dauntless sessions. This is your solution. It's got a little magnetic what do you call it?
It's like a little magnetic
little clip that you like stick on the side of your headset.
Yeah.
And basically it has a USB dongle, and it allows you to turn any headset into a wireless gaming headset, essentially, or chat or whatever. It doesn't have to be gaming.
Yeah.
It's just USB into your PC. Do whatever the hell you want with it.
It's an awesome way to have a dope headset because, like, let's be honest, like, more often than not, you can buy way nicer headphones that just don't have a mic attached to them than you can, like, a nice set of gaming headphones, quote unquote, right? So this allows you to go buy those dope Sennheisers or the really nice Bose or whatever your fancy is, and then instead of having a big boom mic like we do when we're recording or whatever in front of you, it allows you to modify them in such a way that you strap this mic on, you still have really high quality audio. It uses the aptX codec over Bluetooth, and so the audio quality is really good. I personally haven't had an opportunity to test it yet.
I did use mine.
Oh, and
how was it on the outline?
How was the audio?
Yeah, so it's 16-bit, 48 kilohertz.
Okay.
So, and it's got a nice. It's clearly got a nice microphone.
Right.
On a big long boom. I attached it to my Logitech headset and I turned off, like I didn't use the built-in mic.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I was playing with Vert and Teacup, and they both said that I sound a lot louder. Especially Vert said I sounded really good, and Teacup said, "Sounds like you're talking into your podcast mic."
That's awesome.
As opposed to using basically
the built-in ones,
my the Logitech built-in one, which some people complained and some people didn't. You complained because you're a big whiner.
I did. Hey man, you. It sounded crappy,
but yeah. So I started using it, and they said it sounded great. Obviously, I can't hear myself, so I can't compare.
Right.
From the guys I was playing games with, who quite often complained about my sound quality, they both noticed a big difference in their opinion. So
that's awesome.
Clearly, if you want to ask Teacup and Vert on the Discord, they can probably give you more information. But it sounds like, from what they told me, it was an improvement, and it was pretty easy to set up. I just plugged it in and boom, away you went.
Sweet. Set that was your mic, and that's the one that you wanted to use as your microphone, and
there was no drivers to install. It just
that's really
worked.
nice.
And
that's so sweet.
It's wireless, and again, you can use it with any headset.
Right, and if you did have those nice set of headphones, the beauty of having them, like the magnetic part, is you just pop it off. There's a little tiny magnetic thing that stays attached to the headphone, but like you could go out, do your thing, go on your trip or whatever,
your Beats or whatever the hell stupid headset you got,
and it doesn't, you don't have a big mic that you got to flip out of the way or slide anywhere. Like it's just not there. When you come home, your mic clips back on, bang, you're off to the races. It's a pretty sweet solution, man.
Works on Windows, Mac, Linux, or PS4. You can plug the dongle into the PS4.
Oh, that's sweet. That makes sense because it uses that same codec. So
yeah, I haven't used it. Yeah, it says it's not compatible with Xbox One. Womp, womp, womp.
No, because they use their own proprietary shit.
Yeah, stupid Xbox.
Stupid Xbox.
But yeah, it was super easy to use, and the guy said it sounded better. So it's $120.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for, you like your headset in terms of comfort, sound quality, and whatnot, and want to add a mic to it.
You don't want to buy a gamer headset.
Yeah,
I'm doing air quotes here.
A pretty neat solution. Another thing is you can take it for multiple headsets or setups or move it around. Or use it with other stuff, right?
That's pretty cool.
Or the key is, like you said, you don't have a gaming-specific headset. Well, now you do. You just plug this in.
Exactly.
Instead of buying a $300 headset or going through the whole, which one's the best? It's just another option.
Yeah. Well, just like I said, like you can buy for the same price as like so many of these gamer specific headsets with the mics attached and all this shit. You could buy really nice, either wireless or wired headphones. They just don't have a mic, so obviously they're not designed for gaming or whatever. But so many of them have way better sound quality than these gamer headphones.
Yeah.
So this is even for me now, I'm thinking like, oh shit, I can go buy another. Back in the day, years ago, before gaming headsets became a thing, like I had a really nice set of like Sony, like really nice like headphones. And then I just had a desk mic that kind of was a similar setup. But of course, that back in the day was like shitty because it was the desk mic, right? Like, and then, so anyways, so like this kind of makes me think like, okay, well, maybe I go and I find like I go that route now because this gives me that option to do that instead of like being not stuck, but instead of buying like a gamer headphones, I just buy a nice pair of headphones and strap this bad boy on there whenever I game, and voila, gamer headphones, right?
Voila. Yeah, it's neat.
So that's cool. Right on. I look forward to.
They supplied us each with one of these mics, so take our words with a grain of salt.
Yeah, for sure.
It was provided to us, but I think it's a pretty neat solution. And the guy said I sounded a lot better, so
that is key because you did sound kind of on.
Well, I've been wanting to buy a new headset for a while now, and this will actually hold that off now. I'll be like, I don't need to.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Your audio sounds fine, and
the comfort and
now your mic sounds good. Yeah, exactly.
I got a couple shows I want to talk about quickly before we wrap up. I started watching Attack on Titan Season 2. I totally forgot that existed.
So did I, until you started talking about it.
I binged the original season when it came out, like literally in like a day and a half.
Yep.
I loved it. And now I'm a few episodes into Season 2. It's still pretty good. I goddamn forgot how disturbing the freaking Titans are. I forgot how that show, like, really, like, so many people die in that show, and they die grisly deaths. And
horrible ways.
Unlike any other show, like, whether it be real life show, I don't know why, but the deaths and the Titans, they just disturb me on a level and give me all kinds of weird emotions.
Because they're just big people, and they're just eating little people, and they're doing it in the worst way possible. Like, ripping the head off, like they're just grabbing them like they're a giant, and like the person is a doll, and they're just it's horrible.
It's really disturbing. It makes me very upset, but I really like the show. And I don't know, it just has a weight to it. It's just
how is season 2? Like there was a huge there's a giant gap between season 1 and 2.
Yeah, it was like a year and a half or two.
Yeah, it was a while. I remember
this show is weirdly like just emotional and powerful, just the way it affects me. I don't know why. Like it does more than so many things I've ever consumed. I know why, because the fucking Titans are so gross and weird.
Yeah.
And it's actually a pretty good show, and you're invested
Right.
Like you feel helpless. Like I don't know. It's awesome, but it's also draining at the same time. So I'm a couple episodes in the season 2.
All right.
I've been watching on Funimation, which is fucking terrible.
They got a lot of ads.
Oh god, they have a lot of ads. It's like punishing.
It's brutal.
It's almost like I'm so close to switching over to some other
I'll be
channels
curious
on the
as you get further in how you like it, because I've heard very mitigating things. Like some people really did not like the second season, and some people it was fine. But I don't know that I've ever talked to anybody that was like
so I'm not
really big
enough
on the second season. So
I'm not far enough to really say anything. I'm only 3 episodes in, and I'm like, yep, that's Attack on Titan, all right. That's awesome. Oh, it's awesome. Oh, that's really that's
messed
awesome.
up and not awesome at all.
Disturbing. Oh, I really like that character. Why?
Well, they're gone now forever. They ain't coming back from that.
Stop it, Game of Thrones. You know what? We forgot about AOT and that its characters don't have plot armor. Well, some of them do, but everyone else is pretty much fair game.
Yep.
And I started watching The Boys on my Amazon Prime. I think it's seriously the first thing or maybe the second show I've ever watched on Amazon Prime. And I've actually been watching it with my wife.
Can't even
3 episodes in. Right, holy crap. Have you started watching the show?
No.
Dude, no. This is right up your alley.
Oh, I know. I know. I know what it's all about because I've read the comics it's based on. So
it's super violent.
Yeah,
and it's fucked up. It's like superheroes like don't give a fuck.
Superheroes are assholes.
Yeah, they're like worship us like we're gods.
Yeah,
and they do bad stuff. They do good stuff, but behind the scenes they do bad stuff.
Yeah, essentially think of like your favorite superheroes, but instead of being these like Boy Scouts, like they look to be in all of the other like Marvel and DC stuff. Instead, they're like real human beings, and like the fact that they have these insane powers also means that they make horrible choices sometimes, and of course because of their powers, sometimes those choices are way more horrible than they would be if they didn't have those powers, and so on and so forth. And it's pretty messed up.
A big part of it is that the superheroes are all kind of run by a corporation.
Yep.
Like they're like branded. They do movies and endorsement deals, and it's all run by a big, it's
messed up.
Let's call a spade, like essentially like kind of like an evil corporation. Yep. Capitalism at its worst, but instead of products that they're peddling, it's superheroes and their agenda, and it's
messed.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
It's pretty good. I must say I'm enjoying it. It's raunchy, it's dirty, it's gory.
I'm curious how they handle a few things, because in the comic book I was honestly like some of the things that happen in the comic book,
you're like, what?
I'm thinking, like honestly I'm like, how are they gonna like handle that, because like it is messed up. Like that comic fucking goes places, let me tell you.
Something happened in the last episode that was pretty effed up.
Yeah.
Episode 3, but I'm enjoying it. We will probably keep watching it.
I unfortunately don't know if my wife will be able to handle it. I'm not sure if she'll like it at all. So
my wife's laughed out loud, which is, that's a good sign. That means she's engaged. So
okay, that's good.
I will stick with it. There's only 8 episodes, so I don't know when we'll finish it by, but
right.
Yeah. That's about it. Dane, I'm going to say that's an episode 215 in the gigabits. Friendly reminder, next week, I'm going to be on KFGD co-hosting on Tuesday, August 6th.
For anybody else that doesn't know what that stands for, that's the Kind of Funny Games Daily.
Yeah.
That's the Kind of Funny Greg Miller and all that crew. That's all their stuff. So Rick is going to be down there.
I believe it's live at 11 a.m.
I believe you're correct. On their on their
Twitch.
On their Twitch, right?
Yeah, I think it's 10. Is it 10 or 11? I don't know. I really need to know.
I believe in order to watch it live, though, don't you have to be a paying member?
No, you only need to be a member to I think comment.
I thought in order to watch it live, you had to be a member, and then you got it. Then they put it up on YouTube after.
Oh yeah, live at 10 a.m.
for everybody.
Live at 10 a.m. Wrapped by 11:15. The podcast is later in the day. Oh maybe. No, I didn't think you need to be a subscriber to watch it live. I've watched it live before. I think you can only interact if you're a subscriber.
Okay.
You can only write in, and I think you can only interact. It's their other shows that you can only watch live as a subscriber, but this one I'm pretty sure you can watch it without being a subscriber. Yeah, it's 10 a.m.
Sweet.
And wrapped up at 11:15. So
that's which day? Which day is that?
Tuesday, August 6th.
Tuesday next week.
So that's just
there you go.
After that, the Geekoholics will be launching the stratosphere and
log in and make fun of Rick while he's on the show. And,
you guys are gonna want to be here for before we get too big for our britches, because this is gonna be the turning point. Internet sensations.
Dare to dream.
Yeah. I gotta start somewhere.
Get us that Fortnite money.
I'm pretty excited. And we're doing a family trip going to San Francisco. Gonna check out some stuff, so
very cool.
Yeah, should be fun.
I look forward to hearing all about it.
Yeah. I will obviously post it. I might attach it to next week's podcast. So probably next week we'll most likely record a day late. Yeah. Because I'm not back until next Wednesday. So
yeah.
So it might be a day late next week.
Probably $1 short too.
Yeah. So you can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no K, RICF.
You can come bug me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
And then, of course, follow, like, subscribe, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram.
We are
Facebook.
Geekoholics everywhere.
Yep, Geekoholics everywhere. And leave us a nice review or share us with a friend if you are able to. And, of course, don't forget to join the Discord, bit.ly/Gap Discord, and any browser will get you there. And join in on the offline antics.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you would have been the first to know and seen pictures of my car if you were in the Discord, because I haven't shared it anywhere else.
It looks just like a Tesla. Strange.
Mm-hmm. Pretty blue. And it's mine.
Fair enough.
I think that's it, my friend.
Sweet.
We're out.
Zoom, zoom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Peace.